Hey guys, I want to talk about everybody's, or at least I would think everybody's favorite technique, top water. It's hot, it's midsummer, but guess what? This is the best time, and not just early and late. Early and late are great times to throw top water, but a lot of times in the summer, in the middle of the day, can be really good to throw top water too. And let me show you some of my very favorite things. One of them, this is from Dirty Jigs and Net Bait. So this is a BF Toad on the back of a Dirty Jigs buzzer. So this whole setup's called a buzz frog, but it's one of my very favorite things. Believe it or not, this is a buzz bait. You can actually skip this up underneath some cover. It doesn't skip as good as like a stick worm or, you know, a super twitch or something like that, but it does skip really good, and it's the only buzzer that you can skip. So whether it's a boat dock or brush, whatever, but in the summertime, a buzz bait is really good. The Mischief minnow, or as we call it, the keychain. This thing looks like, yes, it looks like a keychain, but you know what? I have caught, and if you guys watch my TV shows, whether it's JT Kenny's Florida Bass or the Fishing Show with JT Kenny, you have seen the Mischief minnow. When this thing first came out, I looked at it, laughed at it, threw it on the workbench. Guess what? One day I finally picked it up and threw it. This thing catches fish. Throw it out there, twitch it, just reel it straight. That blade just ticks off that hook, it makes just a weird noise. Dude, I've caught some giants on that thing. I throw it on a halo rod with an Ardent Apex reel. I got 50-pound braid on that thing. That is one of my very favorite things. I do put trocar hooks on that thing though. I really like those trocars, and I'm using the treble hooks. My very, very favorite, old Scummy. This is the Scum Frog Launch Frog in the sloppy toad color. I use this thing not only all over the state of Florida, but all over the country. I mean, they catch them. It's one of the greatest hookup ratios. It's got great big giant gaff hooks in it. It's got a tungsten weight transfer system in it that just makes this thing, we don't call it the launch frog for anything. When you throw it, you launch it out there. Halo BB Frogging Rod 2.0. This is a 7.9 extra heavy with an Ardent Vertex Contender reel. This is a new reel from Ardent. I spool it up with 65-pound braid. I absolutely love this thing. And I absolutely love topwater fishing. Absolutely love this frog. It's one of the things, I pick it up every day, the first 20, 30, 40, maybe 200 casts of the day. I'm always throwing this, and then I always pick it up in the middle of the day in the summertime too. You get around the right cover, whether it's, you know, matted grass or some lily pads or skipping it under boat docks, things like that. The frog in the middle of the day in the summer is something that you do not want to overlook. And speaking of snag proof, here is the Zoo Dog. It's like a walking topwater bait, you know, like the old Zora Spook or whatever, but look at that. No longer can that thing get bunched up in the fish's mouth and pry against the hooks and work it out. This thing is completely pliable and it's weedless. Look, the hooks pop up like that. So it's a soft body. I mean, that thing works awesome. It's got the little feather on the back, 65-pound braid. I throw that on the 7.2 heavy action halo rod with the Ardent Apex Grand. That thing, you throw it up on top of the mat, kind of scooch it across the mat, and then break into open water, and you're right into walking the dog back and forth, man. That thing is absolutely awesome. I love this bluegill color. So many times, you know, like I said, I throw this thing around matted grass, so I'm throwing it up on top of the mat, hopping it kind of a little bit across the mat, and then breaking into open water. And there's a lot of bluegill in those kind of areas where that matted grass is, so that bluegill color is just fantastic. And then you gotta have the old school Zora Spook style for when fish come up schooling out in the middle, you know, like we saw some this morning, caught a few on it out there in the middle. They're up there, scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. And this is a great one, but this is the saltwater version. So, and it's just a head Zora Spook saltwater version. I take those big gnarly saltwater hooks off of it, and I put number 2 trocars on it and put the good split rings on it like that. And for whatever reason, this color, I've caught so many big bass on this color. It's kind of translucent sides, and it's chartreuse top and chartreuse belly. And like I said, it's the saltwater version, so it's a little bit bigger one. They've also got a little weight transfer system in the back too. So this thing, when those fish come up schooling way out there, you can rear back and throw it. And speaking of rearing back, one of the things that I really like to do with this is throw it on a Halo Crankin' Series 2. This is a 710 medium heavy, and I got it on 30-pound braided line. I got an Ardent Apex Elite on here, but the 30-pound braided line, the 710 medium heavy cranking rod, that allows me, when I go to cast this thing, like a rear back and just, when you can launch that thing just crazy distance out there. So that really helps you on those schooling fish. And early in the morning, if you're just covering a big grass bed, you know, you want to be able to just cover it as far, you know, throw it as far as you can, cover as much of that water on each cast as you can. So that's my 5 favorite summertime topwater. Anything topwater is fun, but that's my 5 favorite topwater baits for summertime. Go check them out.